I'm stuck in my job and I feel the need to get away. Speeding down a river or sailing out over the bay. Gonna jump in my boat and go as far as I can get. Out on the water, come on, now we are gonna get wet. Ever don't leave.
G'day and welcome to On the Water for another exciting week. This week we're going to take you international. We're going to go down to the bottom of South America, to southern Chile, to check out the lifestyle of a local crab fisherman. And then we're going to ramp it up with the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. So strap on your life jacket and get set to get wet. G'day and welcome to the Cruising Yacht Club in Sydney Harbour, Australia for the 63rd running of the Rolex Sydney to Hobart yacht race. This 630 nautical mile ocean classic is regarded as one of the toughest ocean races in the world. There are 87 yachts entered in this year's race and we've certainly got some variable conditions lined up for the race down south. We're sailing on the FAR 53 yacht Georgia, where we'll be reporting from for this race. It is co-owned by John Williams and Graham Ainley, and it will be supporting the Kids Undercover Foundation. So strap on your life jacket and check this out. Huge crowds gathered on the docks as the crews put in some last-minute preparations on the boats. We caught up with a living legend of Australian yachting, Lou Abraham. Lou Abraham's the doyen of Australian yachting, heading down to Hobart for the 45th time this year. Record-breaking run. How are you feeling pre-race?
Oh, I'm quite relaxed on it. It's a beautiful day and I think it'll be a good race.
Well, you've certainly been through this before. In fact, you've won it a couple of times, and the crew, are they ready? There's some big expectations on them this year to get you across the line first.
Yeah, there's big expectations. They're a good crew. They've worked very hard and they're all trained up very well.
Now, of course, being competitive in yachting for this many years, what is it gets you back year after year for this one of the world's great ocean races?
The possibility of winning again. That's about it.
Not the drink at the other end?
No, I think I can do without the drink, but I certainly look forward to the potential that I can win three races instead of two overall races.
And certainly the people that you've met throughout the years doing this, when you get down to Hobart, you've got a lot of friends to catch up with down there, of course.
Oh yes, there's plenty to have a drink with down there.
Rolly, long-time crew member alongside Lou Abraham of the Challenge fame, of course. Mate, what does it mean doing a race-breaking record, 45th Hobart, with Lou Abraham?
Oh, look, Louis never set out to break any records, so we don't really worry about that side of things. But to sail with Lou is a great honour. He's a true gentleman of the sport, and he's put a hell of a lot into the sport, and it's given him a lot back. And I'm very grateful for every time he lets me paddle out there with him and get wet and get frightened.
Because it's certainly not just sort of something where you can just jump on board a yacht like this. Lou has a very good crew that he's built over the years to be able to compete in races like this, and indeed just in local club races, and to be part of that, it must be great.
Oh yeah, look, you know when you go out with Lou that everyone's organised and everybody knows what they're doing, so we're always 100% in terms of preparation, and that's one thing Louis is always very strict about. I mean, he's got a pretty simple equation. He'll give us a boat. He'll give us all the gear we need to make it go fast. He'll fly us around, he'll put us up for accommodation, and all we've got to do is win. And if we don't win, well, then we'll just sit down and look at the equation again, won't we? So.
Well, now, he's a very quietly spoken man. Do you ever get a bit of abuse from the back of the boat there as where he's positioned if something goes wrong?
If something does go wrong, and occasionally it does, yeah, you do hear it. That's the one time you do hear Louis. But he's very good at giving constructive criticism when it's needed, so he's excellent at that.
On the water, also caught up with some of the international stars of yachting. Roger Sturgeon, skipper of the TP65 Rosebud. How are the preparations coming along for Hobart?
Well, we've been here for a number of weeks and had a few regattas, and we're pretty well set.
Well, of course, you did win the Rolex Series recently on the harbour, and that has certainly put you in good stead for this race.
Yes, and there was also the Solus Big Boat Challenge, and we won that one too. It's corrected time, that is.
So you're cleaning up?
So far, so good. A lot of luck A lot of luck involved.
Oh, look, I think that good sailing manufactures its own luck, and there's no doubt about that. We're all aware of that. Now, how are the crew prepared for one of the world's great ocean races? Do you think they're up for it? You've chosen them for it. How do you think they're going to handle the tough Bass Strait conditions?
Many of these guys have done it before, and it'll be a bus ride or something. I think we're going to do just fine, and no problem with this crew. They're perfect.
How do you rate your chances on handicap as well as even overall line honours?
Well, overall would be a miracle, but handicap, we're very hopeful, but I think the smaller boats are going to be favored with the current weather prediction, but my rule is weather predictions change. So we're very, very hopeful. We think we got a fair shot at it.
We had a chat with some of the local stars. John Williams, the skipper of Georgia.
John Williams, skipper of Georgia, this is your 25th trip down south. How's the feeling?
A little bit tense at the moment, but we'll warm up and get going once we get out of this pen and get people out of the way and things get down into a bit of a routine.
Now, of course, from formerly of Bacardi fame, you've upgraded the yacht this year. What was the reason for the change?
After 23 years, it was probably about time for a change. We've got something a little bit more modern, a bit quicker, and hopefully a little bit more fun.
You clocked some good speeds even on the delivery trip on the way up here. What are we expecting to be reaching in the ocean?
That'll depend largely on the wind and the waves, really. But on the way up with the cruising gear up, we got up to 22.6 knots, so if we get any sort of decent breeze with the full crew and full gear, we should exceed that, we would hope.
Now, there's a 14-man crew on board here. What will be your role throughout the course of the race?
I'll probably sail it up the harbour, then retreat out of the sun and come down here and work out which way to go.
Of course, it's going to be a very tactical race this year.
It seems that way. So we'll be using all the resources we can get hold of and hopefully make some good decisions.
With last-minute nerves building, it was finally great to throw the lines off the dock and feel a little bit more relaxed as we head out to the start line. Following a favourable weather report for hard running south, the Super Maxis were going to be looking for race records in line honours. With last-minute crew briefings out of the way and a quick bite, the race was on as we turned right out of Sydney Heads. It must have been a brilliant sight with the yachts beating up the harbour with a beautiful northeast sea breeze. Choppy conditions presented from the massive spectator craft as they have a look at the line honours favourite, the Super Maxi Wild Oats. With Georgia jumping out of the blocks, the crew were frantic in keeping the trim in both the mainsail and the spinnaker. As the nerves now settle, the crew start to chill out and focus on the task at hand, the 630 nautical miles south.
We had an absolute cracker of a start, top 10 out of the harbour. That certainly got the boys pumped, there is no doubt about that, as we head south with 13 men and 1 woman on board, Georgia.
The crew were stacked on the aft weather rail in an attempt to get the ballast right and the boat moving as fast as possible. The grinders were working overtime to the call of the sail trimmers. With the spinnaker full, the yacht was absolutely humming. And as we headed into the first night, the breeze built and we were getting into the 20 knots of boat speed. We weren't really concentrating on the beautiful sunset as this sleek 53-foot yacht carved its way towards Bass Strait. It was into the night we charged with masthead spinnakers. But as dawn approached, we found ourselves in a different weather pattern.
As predicted, we had a beautiful northerly breeze pushing us south from 25s up to about 27 knots. This was giving us a boat speed of anywhere up to 23 knots surfing down waves and providing pure adrenaline. This is where the helmsman and crew alike must work absolutely in sync, because at that speed, if we broach, it causes a lot of problems and potentially a lot of danger. So we've really got to stay on the ball, which is pretty hard considering that we're doing a 6-hour on-deck watch and a 3-hour down below. At the moment in the second day, we've been able to have the opportunity to give some of our steerers a bit more of a break because we're expecting some strong northerlies again later this afternoon, and they're going to have to be on their absolute sharpest.
We'll be back with some more Sydney to Hobart action a little bit later in the show. Coming up on the other side of the break though, we're going to go to southern Chile and have a chat to a local crab fisherman. So stick around.